I want to share another story from the Gospel of John today. I hope that you are reading this Gospel and recognizing more and more of who God is and how much He cares for you. Today's story is found in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verses 43 to 53. And I encourage you to follow along as we look at this together. The story begins with Jesus after He met with a Samaritan woman heading back to Galilee. Now this is the area that He was from. And He knew that because He was from there, He wouldn't be recognized for who He was there. The Bible tells us that He was welcomed, but only because the people wanted to see more miracles. And Jesus went to the village of Cana in Galilee, which is where He did His first miracle. He turned water into wine. And it was here that He was met by a royal official. Now many assumed that this man was a Gentile and not Jewish. He begged Jesus to come with him and to heal his son who was sick and close to death. The son was in the village of Capernaum, a little over 20 miles away. Jesus responded to this man by saying, "Unless you see miraculous signs and wonders, you will never believe." The royal official showed his heart for his son and his great need because he only responded, "Sir, come before my child dies." Can you hear his concern and his pain for his son? Jesus heard that and He replied, "You may go. Your son will live." Imagine being in that man's shoes. You want to believe, but things didn't happen as you expected. You expected Jesus to come with you and at least see your son before He healed him. What do? The text tells us the man took Jesus at His word and he left. As he took the 20-mile-plus walk back to his home, he was met by his servants who told him that the boy was better. The man asked when he improved, and they gave him the exact time that he was with Jesus. And the text tells us that he and his family believed in Jesus after that. At first reading, Jesus' response to this man seems callous and impersonal. It doesn't give us a picture of a God who really cares. The more we look at this, though, the more we see that it shows God in Jesus doing more for this man than what this man was asking. Jesus not only healed his son, He also built the faith of the man and his family and offered them hope for more than the life that they had at that point. The man learned faith by necessity. And that's God. That's how great He is. That shows how good He is. And He does the same for us. Even in these trying times, we can see God working, offering hope, and building faith. I've had the privilege recently of calling some people out of the blue and asking how we can help them with their needs in the middle of their struggles. And the response is amazing. Often it has brought tears to people as they realize that they aren't alone and that God cares for them. Notice, the person in this story was probably a Gentile. This story didn't make sense to many of the people who lived where it took place at the time it took place. Jews and Gentiles didn't get along. They didn't help each other. But again, we see Jesus going against culture and reaching out to others who others thought weren't worth reaching out to. Is God reaching out to you now? In the middle of the fear and the stress and the struggle, He's there. He wants to build our faith in Him. He wants a relationship with us because He cares. I want to encourage you, please continue reading the Gospel of John. Keep looking at who God is in the person of Jesus. Yes, He's confusing at times in His response. He doesn't always respond the way that we think, but He always does what is right and what is best. And we can put our faith in Him even in difficult circumstances. He might not always respond as we think He should respond, but He will always be right and He will always do what is best. Sometimes we also learn faith by necessity. Please bow with me in prayer. Dear God, help our faith in You to grow. Please reveal more of who you are and how much you care to us. Please help us see that we aren't alone and that you are here with us because you care. In Jesus' name, amen.